Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Mileena stuns. Mileena captivates. She's glowing. She's so pretty. Anyway, I was thinking about the documentary with Britney Spears, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, yes, I've gone through some bad stuff in my life, maybe. Not necessarily things I'd share. They weren't that bad, and I got out of them very quickly. So it wasn't like a big mess or anything like that. But yes, I have gone through some bad stuff before. And yes, some of it was pretty bad, but I mean, I'm okay now. So I mean, yes, and then you're like, well, Britney's no different, right? Even though she's Britney, obviously she's gonna go through some things where you're like, that makes sense, because lots of people go through bad stuff, regardless of whether you're Britney or somebody else, you're gonna go through bad stuff. So I guess technically it could make sense that it's true, but you're like, come on, guys, like Britney's dad's just let go of the whole thing and just be like, like my daughter is successful, she's gonna give me money regardless of whether I'm a huge part of her life or not. So I mean, I just don't see what the big deal is. But like I said, sometimes I've gone through stuff, and I mean, it's unexplainable. You're like, that person is a total star. That person's so great. But yes, of course, I've gone through some stuff. I mean, not that much, but I mean, when I was younger, yes, I've gone through a lot of stuff. But I mean, now I'm very well, doing well. I mean, I'm not even doing that. I'm not rich by any means or anything like that. We're doing well that way, but I mean, in terms of my life, it's not a very difficult life to lead because I enjoy everything. So, I mean, things are good for me. But yes, I can see, yes, how some things might be, when everybody looks at their own life, they're like, yeah, that makes sense. Brittany might be Brittany, but she's gonna go through some bad stuff regardless because she's Brittany. Because she's Brittany doesn't mean she's not gonna have a hard life at some points. But I mean, for all in all, you're like, well, Brittany, like, I mean, not that it, if and if it is happening, which is possible because obviously it's possible because we're saying it, but if it is happening, then why doesn't she make a deal with her dad? Like, why doesn't she say like, you can take this cut of my money and let me do what I want, um, and of course I'll be supportive. I'll get you your home or whatever. But like like she's just so rich. I mean, at this point you're like, okay, like what's he saying to her? But of course, people are strange. Like people, like the lead singer of Nirvana committed suicide, right? Nobody knows why, but if you're actually living his life, then you would know. But if you're not living his life, you're like, how would that happen? Like, he was such a great star. Like he did well. He was doing well. He was dating Courtney Love, like a gorgeous girl, and you're like, why would it happen? And yes, sometimes these things happen. So of course it's unexplainable, and you're like, well, Britney Spears is Britney Spears, but I guess to some extent, yeah, that's possible that it happens. I mean, just because she's Britney doesn't mean she's gonna go through that. So anyway, that's my spiel about Britney's tragedies, and of course, I'm glad for her now because she's got her boyfriend. But they even made some kind of hints that he's sort of like there because he's paid, and I'm like, well, I'm sure being with Britney is not a chore. I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's hard to keep a committed relationship, but I mean, I'm sure he's like happy that he's with Britney. I can't imagine why he would be like not happy. But you're like, well, I guess if it is what it is, then maybe it's true. But you're like, I mean, you're thinking to yourself, and I mean, I guess if I met Britney, I'd know. But I mean, you're thinking to yourself like, he's getting paid to be with her. Like, wouldn't he actually want to be with her? Like, he's the worst looking one anyway. So anyway, thank you all for watching. Bye now. Not that looks matter, but in that case, he's the worst looking.